Yo, how's it
Not too
going,
bad.
Jacob?
Not too bad. We live? We good now?
Yep, we're
Yeah.
live. There was some technical issue earlier, but today we want to talk about
Yes, we
operations,
do.
right? Managing the team, and this is something we struggled with when we first started the agency, and it was a work in progress, right? And yeah, like we were just confused, like everyone's kind of overlapping, doing each other's task and everything. So we thought we got a lot done because we were doing more stuff across everybody, but we actually didn't quite
Progress.
move as quick as
Yeah.
we wanted to.
So, I mean, what we're going to run through is going to be like definitely like operations, but I think on a certain level, this is, I was watching a video by Ryan Dice earlier and it was speaking on this topic, which is like the different hats you wear in business, right? And it just resonated so
Yeah,
much because like even to this day, this is something we have to continue working on. So my intention is just to share the
yeah,
lens through which we're working on it through so we can continue to kind of like improve what we're doing, basically. So this is almost like an internal meeting between me and you that we're gonna put out on the internet, bro. So it's gonna be good.
yeah, for sure.
So the topic of today video is specifically for agency owners, coaches, consultants, and professional service businesses, stuff like accountants and that, where you essentially have a high ticket product where you sell it for a lot of money and then you deliver it to people, right? And we're going to talk through why when you're in the 10 to like 50-month stage where we're at right now, that you actually struggle to basically because of this one, which is you are juggling too many jobs, right? When I think of a
Yeah,
daily basis, especially in this stage where we're at right now, I think, and we're going to run through what the 11 hats are, right? But you are juggling too many hats at one given time. Now, here's the thing. When you juggle many, many hats, as you just spoke about, what you're not able to do is focus on the one thing that 90 days of pure focus would fix in the business. Does that make sense?
mm,
So
yeah,
for some people, that is people and culture. It's hiring the right people. For some people, it's marketing. Like, man, you need to get deals in the pipeline. For some people, it's fulfillment, right? You need to improve your client fulfillment? Like innovation. Maybe you are operating on outdated technology, which is slowing you down. But there's normally one thing in the business, one hat that if you were to wear it for 90 days unlocks massive scale. You know what I mean?
mm,
So what we'll run
yeah,
through first is the 11 hats and what they look like, right?
yeah,
So let me open this. There are 11 hats. The first one is the marketing hat, right? You're writing copy, you're launching ad campaigns, you are launching outbound campaigns, hiring cold callers, anything to get leads, cold leads to be aware of you, right? That's driving demand, anything that's turning strangers
yeah,
into potential deals, right? The next hat is the next
mm,
step in the customer acquisition cycle, which is the sales hat, right? Which is the person who is talking to these leads and converting them into clients or consulting with them, sending proposals, doing follow-ups, working their pipeline. So that's the sales hat. The third thing is the innovation hat, which is the person who's creating products, services, big ideas. A big thing now, AI agents. I think that comes under the innovation hat. If you're building AI agents for your business, that's pretty much as close to innovation as you can get. Then you have the fulfillment
yep.
hat, which is delivering results, solving client problems daily, kind of being in the trenches. If you want to add agency, do you get what I'm saying?
I lost you. You said if you are in the
So
ad
if you're
agency,
running an ad, the person who is creating new ads, who's testing new ads, who's either scaling working ads or taking off ads that aren't working,
yeah,
the person who's actually delivering the results for the
yeah,
clients, right?
yep,
Operations hat. Now, this one, especially in an agency environment, is wearing that, but it's managed. You've got the money hat. He's handling cash flow, the books, payments, etc. People and culture hat, which is a massive one, which is hiring, motivating, managing the team. The fixer hat. Now, this is a funny one.
yeah,
Ryan Dice, the video that I watched, he called it the golf hat. Right, I'm going to call it the fixer hat. The fixer is fixing everything that no one else wants to do. You know what I mean? So, damn.
does he have to be good in everything then?
Kind of. I mean, I think as a founder, regardless, you
Yeah,
have to. This is a funny thing about this, right? When I look at every single hat that we have here, if you want to be a capable founder and actually scale, it doesn't matter how you feel about it. You got to be good at all of these things because to go from 0 to 10 to 20 to whatever came up, you have to be able to manage every single one of these for a certain amount of time. Do you get what I'm saying? Because physically
yeah,
can't hire
yeah,
people to take over customer support until you're good at marketing and sales, and outsource operations until you have fulfillment down and you know what you're doing. And nothing happens unless you know
yeah.
where the money's at. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the fixer
Yeah.
hat is kind of a funny one, right? Because this is what I said. It's like there are 11 here, but I feel like some of them fall under other ones. But the fixer hat is just like, okay, man, our ATP's gone down. Let's get a new application sorted. Our email
Yeah.
service provider has dropped us. We've been blacklisted, and we're
Oh.
no longer getting into inboxes. Like, okay, someone's got to fix that type of stuff. I'll give an example of some
Yeah.
fixing I did. I realized that one of our agencies of accounts, one of the clients, had changed the conversions API, right? And they had put the wrong pixel in for 3 different automations where we were running a lot of ad spends to. And I realized pretty quickly because I saw our cost per qualified like schedule go up. And I was, what's going on? Look, spent 3 hours, bro, going back and forth from Meta to Notion where we got all the ad information back to the account, blah, blah, blah. That's fixing. Now, for clarity, the whole thing we're going to get into now is like if I had spent those 3 hours, for example, working on people and culture, right, and I would have hired someone to be a fixer, we would have a better return on investment. Of course, right now I have to do. That's the point, right? Then you have the customer support hat.
Yeah.
This is the person who calms the storms with clients who are angry or need support or just customer support. Customer support isn't always a bad thing. I don't know why it's always positioned as like, oh, you're solving people's problems. Sometimes you're just touching base with people. The
Yeah.
partnerships hat, which is building collaborations, deals, and vendor relations. And this for us is funny because 50% of our business is basically partnerships. So this is a hat we're always wearing. The CEO hat, which is thinking big picture and protecting the vision. Now, the funny thing is this, right? If you are wearing more than 2 hats, like me and you as co-founders, right? We should be wearing 2 hats. In an ideal world, our hat should be this. Mine should be the CEO hat and the marketing hat, and yours should be the sales hat and the operations hat. That's it.
Yeah.
However, if we really look at it, I'm going to go through how to fix the issues of wearing too many hats. I looked at it and I said, I'm wearing the marketing hat, innovation hat, fulfillment hat, operations hat, money hat, people and culture hat, the fixer hat. I'm not really customer support. You do that. Partnerships hat and the CEO hat. What the flip am I doing with my time? Do you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Now,
Mhm.
anybody who's resonating with, who's watching this right now, I'm going to walk through the exact process that I'm going through right now to fix this issue. What I suggest you go through to fix this issue, and what everybody who's watching should go through to
Yeah.
fix this issue, basically. So how do you actually fix hat
Yeah.
issue? So step one, identify the hat you are currently wearing.
Yeah.
Right. In an ideal world, you should be wearing 2 hats. I think you can manage up to 4 hats, especially when you're in a
Mm.
scaling phase. But most likely you're wearing many more than 2 hats. I was watching a vlog by Layla Hormozy because they brought on that new merger and acquisitions guy who used to be a professional tennis player, and I realized like she wears the partnerships hat and the CEO hat all at the same time. Layla Hormozy. Alex probably manages the innovation and marketing hat more than anything else, right? So for her, for
Yeah.
example, like damn, you should imagine how burnt out she is because we're operating at, imagine a multi 8 or 9 figure operation where you're managing more than 4 hats. So identify what hats you're currently wearing. You should be only wearing 2. If you wear more than that, then you need to keep watching. Step 2, identify who should be wearing the hats that you're wearing. Because the likelihood is, and it's the same for us right now, if we really, really wanted to, bro, it would take us 3-4 days to get down to 4. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we give innovation and fulfillment to row. We hire a customer support manager, that's CS, and we give fixing to row as well. There we go. All of a sudden, I'm doing
Mm.
marketing, operations, and CEO hat, and you're doing sales, fulfillment, operations, and partnerships hat, let's say. Obviously, that's just spitballing here,
Yeah.
but you identify who should be wearing that hat. Now, the thing that Ryan Dice spoke about, and I think we should link the video, by the way, because it's sick, is that oftentimes they're
Mhm.
wearing the hat, but the reason they're not wearing the hat is because you've been a control freak, basically. You've been scared to actually give them ownership of the thing that they're supposed to be owning,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is, okay, cool. Now we know. Now what do you do about it? The next thing is 3. You give the hat back to its rightful owner, right? Who is supposed to be in
Yeah.
charge of this specific workflow, this specific thing we're talking about here? If there is someone, give it to him, bro. What? Let it go. You're going to have 6 to 28 days of pain and awkwardness where stuff doesn't happen perfectly, or you have to do a little bit of training here and there, or maybe, you got to nurture and support, or maybe you find out the person you thought you hired for the role isn't the person that they need to be. So guess what? At least now you know. You're not just continuing to manage that hat until you physically can't, the business has died because you're not growing anymore.
Yeah.
Moving forward, days on that, honestly, there is all these hats, and every single business is slightly different. If you've got a high churn, or you've got a low LTV, but you haven't upsell, then probably customer support is an issue for you. Customer support fulfillment. If you are bringing on clients and you're consistently closing, but every time you close a sale, you are literally getting butterflies in your belly with anxiety, because it's like, how do I even begin to fulfill for this person? This is the fourth person we've signed in the last 4 days. There's no way. Then you've got three things. Maybe innovation, because your offer is too high touch. You're offering too much for too little. Probably got a fulfillment problem because you're doing the fulfillment yourself, and you got an operations problem because maybe you don't have a fulfillment pipeline, for example, or something where it's a conveyor belt where clients go through, right? You
Yeah.
may have marketing, sales, fulfillment, all that stuff down, but constantly you're getting bombarded with messages from this team member, that, hey man, Google Meets isn't working, we need a new subscription. Hey man, this software is not working, we should try something. Hey man, hiring funnels went down, can you, bro, hire a fixer? And that's a weird one, right? Because I don't know, I think that's almost like an integrator, or I don't know what role that would be, but I would imagine like a really well-trained VA could do a really good job of being a fixer in the business, basically. But hire a fixer, right? So the point is
Yeah.
that you get rid of the hats you're not supposed to be wearing, and you focus on the one thing that needs to be done for the next 90 days to unlock massive scale. That's where massive scale happens. And especially if you're like me and you, Reese, where we
Yeah.
have business partners, like we should be leaning on each other. I know that we're launching new ad campaigns, and we spoke about me doing sales and you doing sales. To be honest, that's absolutely stupid. Like, one of us, Max, should be doing sales. There is no good reason why both of us should be dividing our attention into being salespeople right now. There's no good reason for that. Do you get what I'm saying? If
Yeah.
we know that launching ad campaigns is the bottleneck, which it is, and we're hiring and training people as we speak, well, cool. I need to be wearing the people and culture hat. Clearly. What else are we doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then I guess we were talking about this yesterday, right? About like us taking sales calls and being in the trenches, and as an offer owner making
Yeah.
sacrifices and stuff. But would it make sense at that point, rather than you taking calls that are overflowing, like meaning I can't take any more calls because my calendar is packed with calls already? You take some of the calls, or would that mean like at that point we need to
Hire a closer.
hire
Well,
a
that's what we do.
closer or build a
We,
sales
we
team?
literally we build sales marketing machines and sales teams, bro. Literally give
Yep.
me one logical good reason why it would ever make sense outside of like, okay, cool, I'm very good at sales, which is nice, great, and so are you though, bro. So what difference does that make, right? You're better than me, literally. So what
Yeah.
good does it ever make for me to take a sales call? Reason is there for you to write marketing copy for email marketing,
Yeah.
or to hop into customer support and be in chats answering, like, literally this process of identifying the hats that you're wearing. And then there's step 1.5 here, which is like sometimes certain hats don't matter. Like right now, one thing I think we've been over focused on is innovation. Thinking about it, I don't know that we necessarily need to innovate much right now. We have our GPT, we have our client success portal line,
Yeah.
we have AI agents supporting us with almost everything that we're doing. Like, do you really need to innovate more, or do we just need to put more flow through the system? Right, hat is not really a problem right now. We don't have any problems that are coming up, and partnerships hat is not so much something that we're focusing on right now. We've got our partnerships and that's it, right? So there are
Yeah.
hats that you should just straight up cut out of the business for a certain amount of time. I
Yeah.
think it's really interesting because as a service-based business, I remember when I first saw the Iman Gadzhi Agency Navigator course, right? I bought it years and years ago. And it was like, just get clients, hire a media buyer, charge a client 3K a month, pay the media buyer 800, and you make the difference, or 1,500, you make the difference, whatever it was, right? Which is true. You can do that, right? Apart from your fulfillment will be kind of crap because the media buyer doesn't really care. Let's be real. What happens is actually as you start to grow, more and more hats come into the business. So all of a sudden you need to have someone who's a fixer, you need to have someone who's customer support, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just really interesting when you look at it from a high level. I don't know what else you can do in the business apart from marketing, sales, innovation, fulfillment, operations, money, management, people and culture, fixing, customer support, partnerships, and CEO. I don't know what else there is as another role in the business.
Yeah.
So one thing that I'm really looking forward to is when we will literally document mastering this and the hires that we're making, Sarah. When we master this, this will be something that we put a lot of emphasis on for agency. Because I think almost before we even start ramping up
Yeah.
or scaling our new agency clients, it will literally be a case of like, hey, remove yourself from the stuff you shouldn't be doing. Hire, hire, let your margins drop for a little while, and then let's go to market. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because yeah, it's interesting, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like right now, like there are a couple of things, like you said, we
Yeah,
don't need. I feel like some hats require very little attention, right? Some hats require more attention. And I guess I got a question. And this is kind of like just to, nowadays people say like you need SOPs so that way when you hire people, like it's easy to train them. You don't have to repeat every single
yeah,
time, right? How do you distinguish between hiring someone and just giving them the SOPs so they can train and kind of get to your level of delivering results or
yeah.
whatever the hat is versus hiring someone who's better than you at that part where you probably don't need an SOP for them because they know
Yeah,
better
well,
than you.
that's a great question. It kind of boils down to two things. It's, are you hiring to remove a hat? Are you hiring to improve the process? So that's my initial thought, kind of
Yeah.
answering that. But then, as an extension of that, it's like, what's your budget? When we reach a scale where we have a budget of 30K a month for sales management, the market opens up to a huge degree to the people we can hire.
Yeah.
I would not protect for marketing for sales side, for example. I would not be happy to hire someone for less than that. Which doesn't make sense. But then there's the other part of it where it's like S versus training, and this is something we could definitely do an episode on. But my mentality on LP should only be for process driven stuff. So, for example, believe it or not, for people who don't run ads, managing an ad account is a purely process driven thing. I'm not talking about creating creatives. I'm not talking about making different
Yeah.
variations, A/B split tests on your funnel, or testing out new copy, or different angles. That's a different thing. But managing the ad account is a completely process driven thing. Go in, take all the ad data, put it on a drive somewhere, right? Set up the conversions API, set up a pixel, right? Set up your testing campaign, set up your scaling campaign, make sure it's all connected to the right funnel. Make sure the funnel's got the pixel on it. If there's nothing creative there, not a single
Yeah.
thing is creative in that process. It's just following orders, following steps.
Yeah.
Now, for me, process driven stuff is very easy to outsource because all you got to do is give someone a step by step of what to do and they can get the job done. The part where it's hard, where I think you
Yeah.
have to go harder and especially higher A players, is when it's something to,
Yeah.
because people skills are something you can learn, but it's something that some people just have better right now. Does that make sense? There is a dude
Yeah.
right now working at the local Tesco's or Eco where I am in Sweden, who is the most charismatic dude in the whole city, and he makes out of $12 an hour. Hire him as a CSM today. He might need a bit of training on, okay, cool, how do you understand X, Y, Z? But the innate skill of people, he's got it. On the
Yeah.
flip side, one of the hardest things, like it's so easy to train people for process driven stuff, but it's really hard to train creativity. And I think creativity is what makes or breaks an A player. It's the ability to see a set of information or a problem and work out a solution yourself. Can you go into an ad account and see that the book I go page before you run it past 100 people? To get what I'm saying? And I would go as far to say that
Yeah.
one of the things that we struggled with early is we hired people who were not A players in creative roles, which leaves you always on a back foot because when I'm reviewing someone's copy for one client for the sixth time in a row, that is a straight up waste of my time. I would have had it done quicker if I'd done it myself. So
Yeah.
creative stuff, people stuff, I think pay, whatever you can afford to pay. But something process driven, bro, if you got to scrape emails from Lemlist or something, get a VA, bro. Give them an SOP, give them the logins, and is it? Yeah, there you go.
And another question is, what's the leanest team that would be sufficient for you
So
to build a
I
six
mean, I'll
figure
say this. I
agency?
say 6 figure a month.
Six figure per
Yeah.
month, by the
So
way.
I'm not really qualified to say that in terms of an agency yet. From a coaching business, looking at what we've done with our clients, like all you really need is you need a marketer, an expert, and an operator. That's it. And then obviously you hire VA, someone to
Yeah.
be a CSM, someone to manage social media and post on the stories, right? That stuff's very easy. From an like, it's funny because we've scaled inches and clients bigger than we've currently scaled right now. We've got better and bigger results for our clients than we've got for ourselves at this current moment, right? 3-4 months, because then I'll have an answer for you. I think right now, if I'm looking at where we're currently at, I think it was like all over the place and it wasn't productized at all. I think the variables depend on how much operational constraints you have to deliver for clients. So for us, for example, because it costs more for us to deliver. It's just as simple as that. If we were, I've thought about this, right? If we were to drop the ads and we just did pre-call process, gamma docs, free training funnels and sales placement,
Yeah.
then it'd be incredibly easy for us to hit. But we're a full stack agency. If we just did ads and funnels, very easy as well. And that's what I think is important to
Yeah.
understand how productized you are as a business. Like, it's still crazy to this day that people operate like this, but like they'll have a fully custom this for every single person that they sign. Person A, they're a web design agency. For person B, they're a cold email agency. For person C, they're a funnel building agency. For person D, they're an offer refinement and consulting agency. Like that, it's not scalable no matter how you play it. So this is with the precursor that you already got something productized. You have a core set of offers or core set of deliverables. For us, ads, funnels, offers, sales training, right? If you've got
Yeah.
that, then as I said, check in 3-4 months from now. But for now, I can't really answer how many people it takes to manage 100K a month agency.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like when it comes to, because we're talking about like hiring and wearing different
Yeah,
hats, right? I think, and was one of the mistakes that we made early on. We hired based on potential and not just purely focusing on what skills they have and what they
yeah,
specialize in. For example, we got 3 people who have a sales background. We got 3 people, including myself. We were all good in sales. We were all doing sales related activities, but then it didn't get anywhere because it's not clear. Okay, you do this, you manage the sales team. And then we had like a point where we were training the closers, and we had 2 coaches, one being myself and the other one being the other sales guy,
yeah.
right? I guess like you need to find people who have like
Complementary skills.
different different area of
Yeah,
expertise, yeah, and they can just stick in their lane, so that way it's not like
yeah,
overlapping or
100%.
anything.
I think the thing for a lot of people to understand, and this is the big thing for me, is that A players aren't like, I know for me for a long time, I was like, I don't want to hire A players because I feel like the business isn't ready for it. But it's the flip side of
Yeah,
the perspective. The business gets better when you hire A players. Now, just like a client, you might
yeah,
not retain if you are just starting out now, you are not going to retain an A player forever. That's just the case, unless you go extremely quick and build a working environment that they love and give them, like, you're an A player, bro. If I wanted to just, before, we're co-founders, but if I wanted to just hire you at some point, I probably wouldn't be able to just hire you. You know what I mean? I could find a way to incentivize you in a way that allows you to work in the business. So it's this kind of process where you've got to reverse engineer your thinking. This question I ask myself often is like, if I wanted to break the business, if I wanted to stop us from growing, what would I do? For us, for me and for you, and for most service-based businesses, it's 3 things. We would stop making sales. We would not hire people better than us. And we would not remove ourselves from operations. If we wanted to stop the business from
yeah,
growing, if I wanted to stop the business from growing, I'd stop making sales. I wouldn't hire people better than me, and I'd make everything go through me. If you were to ask me how much it takes to run 100K a month coaching offer, then I can tell you much easier. You just need an expert, a marketer, and an operator. That's it. And then, okay, a couple of CSMs and VA.
yeah,
Because been there, done that. But agency, it's funny because going from coaching, being the head of growth, and I don't even know what I'd call myself at the offer that we scaled, but whatever my role is, Ryan Clark says like he doesn't know what he'd call himself, and I'd say the similar thing, like I don't even know what my job was. And people used to ask me, what do you do? I'm like, yeah, basically. Coaching is
yeah,
so much easier, man. So much easier. You just have a pre-built product, an info product. All you got to do is then accountability, culture, and check-ins with people. That's basically it. But agency is a completely
yeah,
different game, man. Service-based business, man, it's completely different. I said check 3 or 4 months from now, and I'm sure we'll have a good answer for you.
yeah, definitely. There's a lot of moving
Yeah,
pieces, right? But yeah, I'm excited to see uh, the company growing. Another thing is just having a shared vision. The reason why I stopped closing, I focused on this, I went all in with you on this agency and we're building it together is because of
yeah,
the shared vision.
yeah.
That more than anything else, I just
I
see the
agree.
future of this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I'm happy to hear that, bro, because it's such an underrated thing to be able to take various people with their own desires, wants, visions in life and bring them all under one banner, under one flag, and go out and sail the high seas, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
and I think,
yeah,
it's funny because did you know this? In the 1800s, in the US anyway, 84% of people were business owners. Nowadays, it's 6%.
Yeah.
So all these things we're speaking about of like building teams and dealing with these different hats and all these different things, like this was always the case. It's just now it's become more and more technical and the world's become more and more sophisticated. Everything moves quicker and quicker. So
Yeah.
it's just it's a and then if you go back far enough, man, like me and you go on a crusade through I don't know what area of the world and go conquer a country and go claim it for our own, like it's the same thing. But that's where,
Yeah.
as I said, like for me in the next 3 to 6 months, the hats I want to be wearing specifically is marketing for us, innovation, people and culture, and CEO hat. Those are the main hats I want to be wearing. I don't want to deal
Yeah.
with cash flow books or invoicing people. I want someone else to do that. As long as they were profitable, send me the reports
Yeah.
every week and I'll take a look. I could do it, but better than me. So why would I do that? But yeah, it's just kind of reducing those hats to wrap it up and kind of bring it back full circle. Identify what hats you're currently wearing, identify who should be wearing the hat, give the hat back to its rightful owner. And then once you've done those 3 things, just focus for 90 days on the one thing, the one single thing that unlocks massive scale in the business. That's it.
Cool, man. Hope this helped whoever's watching this. This is kind of like a conversation, internal meeting between me and you as well. So that's interesting. But yeah, this is what we're gonna be implementing. We've already implemented it to
Yeah.
some extent, but we're gonna implement this more. If you guys have any, I guess, like questions or any topics that you guys want us to talk about in our next episodes, just leave a comment, DM us, and on Instagram we'll share all those tips slash our perspective slash what we're going through
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. Like just sharing the
100%.
journey.
And I'll this document in the description as well with video, so people can access it.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Cool. All right, Jacob. I'll talk to you soon and
Nice
see you
one.
guys later.
Bye.
See you tomorrow. Bye bye.